Thank you very much. I'm going to start in the way that I always start, and I want you to sort of to understand, I think that William touched on it, what it's like to work with schools, because the way I and my team work is that we insist and plead to have the whole school there, all the adults. We try and get the midday supervisors who work at lunchtime, the cleaner, the caretaker, the people who do the cooking. We have all the teachers, and we have these what's called closure days, where we have them all sitting in front of us, and none of them want to be there. they've been made and coerced to be in there. Our job is to try and motivate and touch the hearts of all of these people that have been ground down. I mean, it is astonishing what schools having to go through. I think you probably know, but 1 in 5 children have mental health problems. And so one of the first places I take people is to say, you can't do anything for children unless you're looking after yourself first. So the very first part of my model is actually the morale and energy of the staff, and that's where we start from. But the way you'll get some energy is if somebody cares about you. So if you can turn to the person next to you and just say, be honest, what was on your mind? It might have been that, you're thinking, what's for lunch? Because the lunch is so delicious. It could have been that you're wondering, a phone call you have to make. It could be that actually you've got a child at home and you're wondering how they're getting on. It could be that you were totally present today and you've come in feeling completely grounded. You did a little bit of Tai Chi early in the morning and you're feeling very virtuous and strong and positive. But whatever's on your mind, your partner is going to look into your eyes with warmth. And they're going to look into your eyes with warmth. So, as it's a small exercise, don't tell them anything too big, all right? Like this very morning, you've decided to get a divorce, all right? Because it's a little bit big. Okay, folks, so I have the school, all my consultants have the school there. They've said the very worst things, like, this is a waste of time, I don't know why we have to be here, because we've been made to come, so that's some of the schools. And then I've got the egg, and I say, right, now I'm going to come towards you, and I might actually go up to the back row to ask them to speak up, because they never expect me to walk that far. Actually, maybe the middle row, because they think they're sort of sandwiched and happy and healthy in between. And hidden. Or maybe actually the front row, because that's what they thought. But as I walk, and I do this a lot of times, towards very professional people, with an egg in my hand, towards them, half of them suddenly lose eye contact with me. And they start to write. Look, it's so interesting, don't choose me, all right? It's so interesting. Very good, very good. I'll just write, thank you. And the other half eyeball me strongly. They look me very strongly in the eyes and say, look at me, very confident, don't choose me, and I'm with very confident friends. Very confident. Confident. So what happens is you go back to the child in you under pressure, the child that's moving into fight or flight when I come towards you, and that immediately back to that child. And that's important because I have to move the school community to that sense of empathy of what it's like to be children again when you've got me, bossy miss, at the front, when you've got me coming towards you. What does it feel like? Because we have to remember our own power. And a lot of people, when they're tired, forget they're still powerful. And when they're tired and haven't enough sleep, they're not realizing the effect of their words on people. So somehow trying to get that is absolutely crucial. And I was lucky. I came across a wonderful head teacher. I think it matters a lot when you're newly qualified at whatever you do, who inspires you. Now, this man was very inspiring. Despite years and years of being in education, he still really liked children. Now, I think that matters. As I go around millions of schools, I think some of us have gone off them. And he used to say, get them into circles and listen to them. So I'd come from this active experiential. He was saying, get them into circles and listen to them. And he was ahead of his time. Listen to them, getting them in circles. Because I didn't invent circle time. Nobody did. You know yourselves. It goes right deep into the roots of how human beings relate to each other. The Anglo-Saxon monks used to stand in a moot circle. The North American Indians used to sit with a talking feather. There's nothing new. It's deep in the roots. So he used to say, get them into circles and listen to them. And it seemed airy, fairy, hippie nonsense, because I couldn't even keep them in the room, let alone And I remember vividly, it was a very startling moment. I had a beautiful, beautiful circle of empty chairs in my classroom, and I had a wide open window. It was on the ground floor, and all that I had in my hand was a shoe, because that was the only bit I could keep in. They had just went through the window, and that was the last bit, was the shoe. And this lovely teacher came up to me sometime ago. She was from Scotland, and she said, I know what you mean, she said, about people not getting on with each other, how it affects the children. She said that she'd been having a running battle with the nursery department over the digital camera, because she felt that morally the digital camera should stay more in her classroom, because her class had given more of the money towards the vouchers for the camera. Now this is the stuff of relationships. It's who washes up after themselves, it's who pays the coffee money on time, it's all of those things, the real stuff of relationships. So she sent one of her children down to go and get it. And he came back and he said, sorry, miss, he said, she hasn't got it. I cannot believe she hasn't got it. I cannot believe it. Not after everything we have agreed. I can't believe it. And this little kid just went, here you are, miss. That's how well they know the situation. They read it so well. They know everything. And where the healing lies is in people listening to children, because they've got the brilliantest, most wonderful ideas in the world, all the wisdom in the world. And the children will say, would it help if you counted to 10 before you shout? And the child says, no, I can't get past 3, but thank you. So then you say, has anybody got a would it help if I? Or would it help if I? Because you've got 36 children in here, 34. And said, would it help if I? His little hand went up one way. He said, looked at us. He said, would it help? He said, if I stopped calling you names? And this child said, yes, that would help a lot. Thank you. Thank you. So when I'm in schools and I say what you need is to be very positive when you're having the children, and that means language. You've got to look carefully at your language. The language that you use is everything. What comes out of your mouth is everything. But then a child rocks on the chair. And your instinct to say, you chewing, is getting nothing. But you want to get on with being positive, so you say, right, don't fidget. Don't fidget. Okay? Have on. Now, the minute you say, don't fidget, okay, you have just given the idea to 29 others. So you try not to look at the child irritating you. You look at the child doing the opposite behavior. Say, I love the way that you're sitting on your chair and your chair is flat on the ground. Excellent flat on the ground chair. Well done. If I'm working with children who find it difficult to verbalize, I will use puppets. And puppets will bring out the issues. So I'd work with a teaching assistant to say, what are the issues in this class? And they'll say, well, some children are shy, they don't want to leave their mum. And some children are unhappy at lunchtime. So I give the issues and the problems to the puppets. We have a range of puppets. I bet you don't know what names I've been called. And you've been called Four Eyes and Stupid and Slow. All the things they're called, they say to the puppet. And he goes, oh, you are so clever. And do you know what? There's a horrible little animal, and he's been more horrible to me than all the other animals. What do you do if there's a horrible little animal in your class? What do you do? Little hand went up one year, sweet little girl with little pigtails. What do you do? She said, punch his lights out. And what you see then is the adult panics. Now, children. Now, children. That's not what we do in this school. Now, that was a little bit psychologically unsafe. It's when the adult panics and doesn't trust the wisdom in the group. Is it really a good idea to hit back? Is that a good idea to hit back, is it? Because somewhere in your class, sent by God, is a little rescuer. I said, what do you think? No, you should not hit back. Why not? Because then you are as bad as him and you are breaking the golden rules in your heart. Look after that child. them well, because you need them for Ofsted inspections.